This is a fight right here. We're opening up minus 160 in favor of Ryan Spann. Tells me the odds makers say Ryan Spann is probably his own worst enemy. That's what this line tells me. Plus 135 for a Bogdan Guskov, who is 1-1 in the UFC. Not a lot of experience. He has like 7 first-round finishes that happen in like the span of 90 seconds or something like that. Like something crazy, right? My question to you is, why are the odds makers not favorable for Ryan Spann in a fight where if he gets the fight to the ground, I don't see much coming back from Guskov that can deter his path to victory? What do you think?
I genuinely think, and this has no hate towards Ryan Spann at all, because I'm a big Superman Spann fan over here. But the thing is, man, he in Spann's performances, right, his losses and even his wins, it seems like he's kind of hit a performance plateau, right, a talent plateau, if you will, where he wins the fights that, yeah, he squeaks them out, and then he loses fights he should be winning. There's just weird things going on with Spann, and I don't think that inspires a lot of confidence in the odds makers, and that's why I think it's that low, man. Minus 160, and in this kind of fight, if I was thinking this, right, when we first see it, I'm expecting Ryan Spann to be a minus 200, minus 220 favorite going into this, but I do think on the other end of that, man, Bogdan Guskov has the potential to stay away from Ryan Spann, right? Keep things at distance, keep things kind of guessing, if you will, and have Spann looking for those opportunities, but never taking advantage of them, leading towards a lower output.
AJ, you might have a serious career as like an odds maker in the future. Ryan Spann opened as minus 160, current minus 220, right on the nose, brother. You hit it. You feel me? So like you seeing it. You're seeing what the film study is actually like showing us, right? Guskov has now moved to a plus 180 underdog, and I think reasonably so, man. In all honesty, I think if Ryan Spann if he wasn't coming off of 2 losses that were self-inflicted losses more or less, I think he'd be like a minus 350 or something like that. Like he'd be a pretty massive favorite. But you take what you're given, and when you're given a line like this for Ryan Spann, you have to make a decision. And the decision is, do you continue to bet on the guy who you know has the tools, but again, is not always consistent upon fight night? And here's the reason why I think it's safe to take that bet. Guskov, slickster at 205, bro. You don't see a lot of them. Hands down in the pocket, head movement, shoulder rolls, and all that. I love the style. The problem is, if he doesn't land flush and he doesn't get that pistol of a right hand that he has going really quick and early, he just tends to kind of be too slick for his own good. Doesn't prioritize defense, and if he gets taken down, that's kind of it. The thing is he's praised about having really good takedown defense. That's another like code word for saying, yeah, the ground game isn't all that great, but he doesn't let it get there in the first place. Ryan Spann gets him to the ground. What happens, AJ?
Oh man, pure dominance. Well, that's if Ryan Spann is on his game. I do want to put it with that asterisk, because Ryan Spann, I do see him controlling the vast majority of this fight, but I do think there's a 20% chance that Bogdan Guskov can actually do something once he's down there, right? Or stuff the takedowns. But if this does get to the fight, my full confidence is in Spann.
Yeah, if this one gets to the floor, for sure. And that's the thing. Both of these guys have massive power. I'm not going to lie to you. I like Guskov striking better than I like Spann's. Spann's really quick and has this massive one-shot power that comes at a cost. And the cost is we don't see a lot of straight shots from him. Even though those are his best weapons, we see a lot of looping, throwing his whole entire self off balance, throwing the kitchen sink in every single shot. Gas tank. AJ, this starts heading towards later round 2, round 3. Neither guy has a proven gas tank. Guskov in his last 10 has gone outside of the first round twice. Third round, knockout. Second round, submission. Victories both for him. For Ryan Spann, pretty much the same. 3 fights that have gone out of the first round. He's won 2 of those 3 fights, of course, by finish for the 2 that he won. So if we're having to take a path to victory right here, I don't see this one going the distance. I'd be very surprised if this one went the distance, but I'm still torn between a knockout and a submission because Guskov is too comfortable in the pocket with his hands down. I could totally see a knockout here. Not sure if this one even hits the mats. What do you think?
I'm not sure if this one hits the mat, Derek. The one thing that worries me if you're a Guskov fighter right here is he's not a great hammer, right? If Guskov's on the front foot, man, he's doing well. He's looking right. That slickster does come out and he can make some moves. But if he's not, and Ryan Spann is controlling the entire fight, man, it's going to be rough waters for Guskov going forward. I don't think this hits the round or this hits the mat. But if it does, I like the Spann submission. Other than that, though, I'm kind of more so a stay away from all of that if the props end up coming out.
Absolutely. This is one that I would have loved to take Ryan Spann at minus 160 at the open. At minus 220, I still think this is a very fair price to pay for Ryan Spann. But at the end of the day, we're going to be betting on which version of Ryan Spann shows up. Very similar to Once Upon a Time betting on Khalil Roundtree, right? Just like which version of Khalil rolls through. We know he has the tools. Ryan Spann, he has the goods. 11, I don't think that's the proper number for him, but then again, you got to prove it in the cage. So another Bloody Water podcast consensus pick, Ryan Spann. We like the finish here. Do not see this one going to a decision.